My name is Zaid.
And I welcome you all to this journey through history. I hope you are doing well and that everything is good for each one of you. Today, we are going to explore a powerful but often less understood kingdom, the Seleucid Empire. This empire was not just another state of the Hellenistic world. It was a vast and complex realm, stretching at its height from modern-day Turkey and Syria through Mesopotamia and all the way into Persia and Central Asia. Its creation began after the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BCE, when his generals divided his enormous empire. Seleucus I Nicator, one of Alexander's trusted commanders, secured a large portion of this fragmented world. Around 305 BCE, he proclaimed himself king, and thus the Seleucid Empire was born. It was named after him, Seleucus. What made the Seleucid Empire fascinating was its ability to combine Greek traditions with local cultures. Greek cities were established across Asia, complete with theatres, temples, and gymnasiums. At the same time, the empire also drew upon the long-established Persian administrative systems and Babylonian scholarly traditions. This blend created a unique civilization, a fusion of East and West. But there is something remarkable to note. The Seleucids were not merely conquerors. They also became great city builders. Seleucia on the Tigris, a city founded by Seleucus himself, grew into a vibrant center of trade, culture, and learning. It rivaled even the older cities of Mesopotamia like Babylon. The empire controlled critical trade routes, linking the Mediterranean to India and Central Asia. Spices, silk, ivory, and precious stones passed through its roads and rivers. This wealth gave the Seleucid kings both power and prestige, but it also drew them into conflicts with rival states like the Ptolemies of Egypt and later the rising Roman Republic. Before we move to our today, I want to say that this channel is user-friendly. No offensive content, no misinformation. We explain things with respect, curiosity, and authenticity. So in this journey, we will uncover not only the military struggles of the Seleucids, but also their cities, their society, and their legacy. Because beyond battles and kings, they shaped a world where cultures met, clashed, and blended. The Seleucid Empire was not a small state, but a sprawling land that was difficult to govern. Imagine an empire stretching across deserts, mountains, and rivers, with dozens of languages spoken and many traditions practiced. Holding such a realm together was always a challenge. Seleucus I Nicator himself spent much of his rule moving from one end of the empire to the other. He founded more than 30 cities, often naming them after himself, his father Antiochus, or his queen Apama. The most famous of these was Antioch, built near the Mediterranean coast. Antioch would later become one of the great cities of the ancient world, rivaling Alexandria in Egypt. But maintaining unity was never easy. The Seleucid kings relied on a mixture of Greek settlers, local elites, and military garrisons. Greek was promoted as the language of administration, but in Babylon the priests still recorded astronomical texts in cuneiform, and in Persia, royal traditions carried on from the Achaemenid past. This cultural blend gave the empire a unique character. In Antioch, one might see Greek theatres and temples, while in Mesopotamia, ancient Babylonian rituals still honored Marduk. In the eastern provinces, Zoroastrian customs continued. It was a mosaic where Greek identity did not erase local traditions, but existed alongside them. Yet with this diversity came tension. Some communities embraced Hellenistic culture. Others resisted it. Local uprisings were not uncommon. The empire's size meant that distant governors often acted independently, making loyalty fragile. The Seleucid rulers also faced constant wars. The Ptolemaic dynasty of Egypt was their main rival. Both empires fought a series of conflicts known as the Syrian Wars, mainly over the control of the rich region of Coele-Syria, today's Lebanon, Israel, and southern Syria. These wars drained resources, but they also reveal how strategically important the Seleucid lands were. Whoever controlled them held the gateway between Asia and the Mediterranean. Another major challenge came from the east. In the far provinces near Bactria and Parthia, local governors and satraps gained more independence. Eventually, the Greco-Bactrian kingdom broke away, and the Parthians would rise to become a powerful enemy. This shrinking of territory weakened Seleucid influence over time. Despite these struggles, the Seleucid kings left behind an impressive legacy. Their coins, for example, carried detailed portraits of rulers wearing diadems, symbols of Hellenistic monarchy. These coins were not just money, but tools of propaganda, spreading the image of the king across thousands of miles. Their armies, too, were modeled after Alexander's tradition: phalanxes of spearmen, supported by cavalry war elephants, and mercenaries from many nations. Battles under the Seleucids were spectacles of both strategy and cultural diversity. At its height, the Seleucid Empire was a land of bustling cities, crowded markets, and a vibrant exchange of ideas. It was not just about kings and battles, it was also about daily life, art, science, and trade. Seleucid cities were planned in the Greek style, with straight streets crossing at right angles, public squares, and stone theatres where plays were performed. Theatres were not only for entertainment, but also for political life, where citizens could hear official announcements. In Antioch, the royal court became a centre of culture. Scholars, poets, and philosophers gathered, bringing Greek learning eastward. At the same time, the Seleucid kings welcomed knowledge from older traditions. From Mesopotamian astronomers, they learned about star movements. From Persian traditions, they inherited systems of administration. This mixture enriched their governance and science. One striking detail about Seleucid rule was their emphasis on building infrastructure. They developed roads that connected cities to far-off provinces, allowing caravans loaded with spices, ivory, silk, and glass to move safely. Along these routes, markets thrived. Travelers could find Greek pottery sold beside Persian textiles and Indian gems. The empire was a bridge between worlds. Religion, too, was layered and diverse. The Seleucid kings often portrayed themselves as heirs of Alexander, but in different regions they adapted their image. In Greek cities, they emphasized Zeus and Apollo. In Mesopotamia, they associated themselves with Babylonian gods like Marduk. This flexibility allowed them to appeal to different subjects, though it sometimes caused friction. Everyday people lived in a world shaped by this blend. Greek settlers might run gymnasiums where youth trained and studied, while local farmers continued ancient irrigation systems. Along the Tigris and Euphrates, merchants spoke in many tongues: Greek, Aramaic, Persian, and more. As they exchanged goods and ideas, art also reflected this fusion. Greek-style statues were carved, but often with Eastern clothing or features. Temples showed a mix of classical columns and local designs. Coins, widely circulated, often displayed Greek gods on one side, and the portrait of the king on the other, reminding people of their ruler's authority. The Seleucids also maintained war elephants, brought from India. These animals were both practical in battle and symbolic of their reach into far-off lands. Alongside elephants, they employed soldiers from many nations, making their armies a true reflection of their multicultural state. But even at its strongest, the empire carried signs of weakness. Its size demanded constant campaigns. Kings had to travel endlessly to secure loyalty, suppress revolts, and defend borders. The cost of wars against Egypt, Rome, and Eastern rebels slowly drained their strength. Yet in this period, the Seleucid world was a melting pot, a unique blend of civilizations rarely seen in history. The Seleucid Empire, though powerful and influential, could not escape the weight of constant challenges. Its vastness, once a source of pride, became a burden. The kings had to divide their attention between the Mediterranean coast, the rich lands of Mesopotamia, and the restless eastern provinces. By the 2nd century BCE, New powers were rising. In the east, the Parthians expanded quickly. They captured territory that had once been Seleucid, including crucial trade routes. This loss weakened the empire's economy and prestige. In the west, Rome emerged as a new force. Initially, the Seleucids encountered Rome, when both sides became involved in Greek affairs. The decisive clash came during the reign of Antiochus III, known as Antiochus the Great. He sought to restore Seleucid control over Greece and Asia Minor. But in 190 BCE, at the Battle of Magnesia, his forces were crushed by the Romans. This defeat forced the Seleucids to pay heavy war indemnities and surrender lands in Asia Minor. From that point onward, the empire steadily declined. Internal conflicts made it worse. Succession struggles often broke out, with rival claimants to the throne. Civil wars drained resources, while local governors and satraps gained more independence. By the mid-2nd century BCE, the Seleucid realm was mostly limited to Syria and Mesopotamia. Even there, its authority was fragile. Neighboring powers such as the Parthians and the Hasmoneans took advantage of Seleucid weakness. The final blow came in 63 BCE, when the Roman general Pompey intervened in Syria. He officially made Syria a Roman province, ending the Seleucid dynasty. A kingdom that had once stretched from the Aegean Sea to India was now gone. Yet the Seleucid Empire left a lasting mark. They were transmitters of culture. Through them, Greek ideas spread deep into Asia, while Eastern influences traveled westward. Cities like Antioch continued to flourish under later rulers. Trade routes they developed remained vital for centuries. Even in their decline, they were part of the story of how civilizations connected. All the information we provide comes from verified historical sources, including books, records, and archaeology. Main references include The Seleucid Empire by John D. Granger, Cambridge Ancient History, Babylonian Astronomical Diaries, and archaeological studies of Antioch and Seleucia on the Tigris. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Thrones of Knowledge. And don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified on time. Suggest our next topic in the comments to help make our journey even better.